You're watching the Los Angeles Lakers Report right here on Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr., and we have some breaking news to get to on a Monday because the Lakers have signed yet another old player, Rajon Rondo, the longtime point guard who's had a really successful career throughout his NBA career, is going back to Los Angeles. Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN breaking this news early on Monday afternoon, taking to Twitter to say this: Rajon Rondo plans to sign a one-year, $2.6 million deal with the Lakers upon clearing waivers today, sources tell ESPN. He agreed to a contract buyout with Memphis on Saturday. Rondo will still make his full $7.5 million salary this season between buyout and his new deal. This has been in the works over the last couple of days because a couple days ago on the weekend, Adrian Wojnarowski said this on Twitter: Rondo will clear waivers on Monday and will likely be signed to fill the final available roster spot with the Lakers, sources tell ESPN. So a lot of indications that this was coming, and it is finally official that Rondo teaming back up with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He was one of the point guards on that roster in the NBA bubble, helping lead Los Angeles to its 17th NBA championship a couple years ago in the NBA bubble. So, Laker Nation, speak up. What's your one-word reaction to Rondo signing with the Lakers? Get those one-word reactions in the comment section. For me, it's solid. It's a solid depth signing. Rondo is going to be the backup point guard behind Russell Westbrook. Obviously, both of these players have contrasting styles. Russell Westbrook is a guy who is a very dynamic athlete. He's a breathtaking guy when it comes to getting to the rack and making plays happen. Rondo is a more traditional point guard. That is my one-word reaction. Get your one-word reactions in the comment section down below. This is why you subscribe to the channel, because every move that the Lakers have made throughout this offseason, NBA draft, NBA free agency, NBA offseason, we've covered it here on the channel, and we bring you these videos within an hour of the news breaking. So hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/LakersTV. You take a look at what Rondo did last year. He was especially good in the back half of the season with the Los Angeles Clippers after he was traded there from the Atlanta Hawks. 5.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds. He shot around 44% from the floor. And really, one of the most glaring statistics for Rondo over the last couple of years, and a big reason why he's been able to extend his career and be kind of a go-to guy late in games as well as a solid point guard option off the bench, is because he's consistently worked on his outside shooting touch, and he's become a better three-point shooter over time. Last year, shot around 40% from distance. I did mention the 2 years that he spent with Los Angeles from 2018 to 2020. He was particularly good with LeBron James and Anthony Davis 2 years ago, especially in the NBA bubble when he was hitting clutch shot after clutch shot. But those 2 years with the Lakers, I thought Rondo was a very solid veteran presence at the point guard spot. His vision has always been top tier. His playmaking and creating has always been pretty good as well. This is really a veteran player who also gives you a lot of defensive potential as well. And he's going to do that with Los Angeles this year. 2018 to 2020, he was good with the Lakers. 8 points per game, 6.5 rebounds. He still can get it done defensively, as evidenced by the steal per game numbers as well. And he can get busy on the glass for his size as a guard as well. Pretty crazy to think that he was really one of the young marquee players on that Celtics team that beat the Lakers in the NBA championship back in 2008, and he's still getting it done. As for what the Lakers' potential starting lineup looks like, I think I'm firm in saying that it's going to be Russell Westbrook, Wayne Ellington, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. After that, I'm not sure who's going to play the 5 spot for Los Angeles. Is it going to be Marc Gasol? Is it going to be Dwight Howard? Could Anthony Davis potentially go from the 4 to the 5 depending on which teams you're playing on any given night? I think that's a possibility as well, because AD has said, I'll play the 4 or the 5 if that means that we're racking up dubs. Also, LeBron James saying this offseason he'll play more 4 if he has to. So Frank Vogel at his disposal has a lot of lineup versatility to go with, and Rajon Rondo is going to be part of that. Maybe he can spot start for Russell Westbrook, but most likely he's going to be coming in off the bench as the backup point guard to Russ. And I like what the Lakers have going on. I know a lot of people are saying this Lakers team is so old. They are old, But it's all being done for this season because LeBron James at 36 years old, turning 37 in December, he wants to win another ring. And that's why the Lakers are all in on 2021, 2022, and they're not really looking beyond that. And they don't really need to. Matt Williams of ESPN, he's a statistician there, took to Twitter to say this, and this is just fascinating, going back to the age conversation with the Lakers. LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Marc Gasol, Dwight Howard, Russell Westbrook, and Rajon Rondo were all All-Stars in 2012, the season before Anthony Davis came into the NBA. Now they're all teammates in Los Angeles. Look, as I mentioned, this has been a huge topic of conversation. People saying the Lakers are too old to compete for a championship. This is going to be a dumpster fire this upcoming season. The Lakers are all in for this year because they realize that the window to win a title is in the current moment with LeBron James. I still think he's the second best player in the NBA behind Kevin Durant, and his prime years are dwindling before our eyes. I think he still has some really good basketball left, but you have to maximize on this current window right now, and by bringing in all of these veteran pieces, while they are old, you're putting yourself in a position where you can compete for a title this season because LeBron, second best player in the league, AD still a top 10 guy, and then you have other players on the roster who filter in and factor in around LeBron and AD, and Russell Westbrook was averaging a triple-double a season ago. So speak up, sound off in the comment section right now. Are the Lakers too old to win a title? Let's continue to have this debate. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Get your votes in the comment section down below. Now, Adrian Wojnarowski did say that Rajon Rondo, the signing of him, occupies the final roster spot on this team. Could they be making a move to maybe let somebody else go to bring in DeAndre Jordan? Because it's been said by Jake Fisher as well as Shams Charania that there's mutual interest between Jordan if he gets bought out by the Brooklyn Nets as well as the Lakers for Jordan to come in as a second or third option at the center spot. Jake Fisher saying the Lakers have been showing interest in DeAndre Jordan. He would rotate in with Dwight Howard and Marc Gasol. And he was getting DNP'd at the end of last year in the regular season as well as in the playoffs by Brooklyn. So it seems more and more likely that Jordan and Brooklyn are going to part ways so that he can extend his career elsewhere as well. Shams on DeAndre Jordan. In his most recent report, he said this: center DeAndre Jordan and the Nets are working toward parting ways via contract buyout, sources tell me and Alex Schiffer. Jordan is increasingly unlikely to be part of the organization moving forward, but the sides have not made a final decision. Jordan did not appear in the Nets' last 16 games of the 2021 season and in the playoffs, as I mentioned. His numbers last year from a raw numbers standpoint weren't all that bad. He can still be very active on the glass as well as blocking shots. That's basically what DeAndre Jordan has done throughout his career. 7.5 points per game last year to go along with 7.5 rebounds, more than a block per night. And while he's not going to be a modern-day big man who stretches the floor and knock down threes, he is an efficient guy right around the rim, shooting around 76% from the deck last year. He's no doubt limited. And DeAndre Jordan doesn't have the athletic pogo sticks that he once had when he was a high-flying, alley-oop dunking, very good defensive player with the Los Angeles Clippers. Those days are no longer here with DeAndre Jordan. Is he okay as a cheap backup? Maybe a third option, a second option with Dwight Howard and Marc Gasol? Potentially. He is very limited, so don't expect him to stretch the floor and bring a lot of variety and versatility to this Lakers offense. Before I get out of here, chime in once more in the comments section. Do you want the Lakers to sign DJ? Let me know. Type S for sign, type P for pass, and as always, thanks for kicking it with us here on the Lakers Report.